do you feel like you've kind of hit a wall creatively? And if so, like what kind of got you over that creative slump, if there was one?
I don't think I hit a wall creatively. I think that I used to be making a different kind of music at some point in my life with some other things. And I think, that was like a natural way of like writing songs because, I started out having like a piano or a guitar in front of me and it lent to writing a certain style of music and especially like the stuff that I was listening to. And then having a band that I can't remember what they're called or anything, but
Me neither.
yeah, it's so strange. I just have this weird like amnesia, like this black hole of time in my head. But it when you're like writing with a group of people in that way, it certainly lends to creating a certain style of music, and you're limited in that sense, and just limited also by what other people's strengths are, and that's not a bad thing. Like I think you can make really great music that way, but I think like a really big turning point for me was 2015. Which seems so long ago now. But I think that was like when I started getting really into pop, both like from a mainstream pop perspective, but also kind of some of the more like niche pop that was happening. The first Empress of record came out that year, which was like life changing for me. And Chairlift was like starting to put out like, yeah. the beginning, the first couple singles from like their what was going to be their last album, and those just like
I love that goddamn record.
that. It's like Moth like changed my life.
It changed. That album changed how I look at, like you're saying, pop music forever.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. And I think Moth to a Flame is definitely where you're at right now.
Oh yeah. And I think like listening to those two records like really made me want to like dip my hands in production and learning how to do that, and like writing like pop records, and so I started diving into that world, and it took a few years for me to kind of like carve out my identity, but I never felt like I hit a wall with anything as much as I just was like continuing to explore like my artistic identity and doing something that was fulfilling but like ultimately limiting, and then realizing that like I wanted to grow this other skill set, and I feel like everything felt really natural. Like I never felt like I was hitting a wall as much as just like following the thread to like fully realizing like who I was as an artist. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, in a past life when you were, playing instruments and, making, indie rock style of music, like, did you feel like when you're making this with other people, did you feel like this is the kind of thing that you were supposed to make, or it's kind of where you just were at that time?
I think it's where I was at that time and what I was supposed to make at that time. And I think that the creative relationships that I had then were like really informative and educational and helped me grow as an artist and helped me push myself to explore things on my own a little bit more. I don't think without those people and those relationships that I would have felt the kind of like motivation to go and like try new styles of music, I think.